Okay, this is the last video for chapter 12. I'm sorry if I'm coming across not enthusiastic. It's just, I'm a person, I feel things, and this is energetically draining. It's also incensing and it's enraging that so much is just the same. So much is still the same. And I know we're reading this in order to better make sense of the present day, but it's like the more I learn, the more I see that this is all by design, and the more I realize that so much about everything is an illusion, and so much about everything that is painful and hurtful and horrible to humanity is related to money and power. Just entrenched in every vessel and vein. I'm about to cry and I just don't want to, because I really, really want to just read the last 3 pages. Let's get through this, Cat. Let's get through this. We can do it. So remember that at this time, Black people, regardless of whether they were fighting in wars, they would come back and still be treated like shit. It says here, these Black boys, heroes of our country, were not allowed to stand at the counters of restaurants and eat a sandwich and drink a cup of coffee, while the white soldiers were welcomed and invited to sit down at the tables and eat free of cost. Oh man, this is enraging. This is enraging. This is enraging. And you know, there are people in the comments who are like, stop reading this is not good for you spiritually or whatever. And like, I am one of those people that I would rather know, but this is definitely taking a toll on me energetically. And so just know that after I read this, I have a whole spiritual hygiene routine that I have to implement, because I refuse to allow my energy and my light to be used up as just anger. Like, I have to preserve myself and I have to remain intact so that I can continue reading this, continue moving forward and being a part of the change that our world so desperately needs. But this definitely requires you to gather yourself spiritually and energetically afterward, because this is the kind of shit that will make you dissociate from reality and not want to participate in anything. It was the Filipino situation that aroused many Blacks in the United States to militant opposition to the war. The senior bishop of the African Methodist Episcopal Church, Henry M. Turner, called the campaign in the Philippines an unholy war of conquest and referred to the Filipinos as sable patriots. There were 4 Black regiments on duty in the Philippines. Many of the Black soldiers established rapport with the brown-skinned natives on the islands and were angered by the term hard N-word. An unusually large number of Black troops deserted during the Philippines campaign, Gatewood says. The Filipino rebels often addressed themselves to the colored American soldier in posters reminding them of the lynchings back home, asking them not to serve the white imperialists against other colored people. Some deserters joined the Filipino rebels. The most famous of these was David Fagan of the 24th Infantry. According to Gatewood, he accepted a commission in the insurgent army and for 2 years wreaked havoc upon the American forces. From the Philippines, William Sims wrote, I was struck by a question a little Filipino boy asked me, which ran about this way. Why does the American Negro come to fight us, where we are much a friend to him and have not done anything to him? He is all the same as me, and me as all the same as you. Why don't you fight those people in America who burn Negroes and make a beast of you? Another soldier's letter of 1899. Our racial sympathies would naturally be with the Filipinos. They are fighting manfully for what they conceive to be their best interests, but we cannot, for the sake of sentiment, turn our back upon our own country. A Black infantryman named William Fulbright wrote from Manila in June 1901 to the editor of a paper in Indianapolis. The struggle on the islands has been naught but a gigantic scheme of robbery and oppression. The patience, industry, and moderation preached to Blacks, the patriotism preached to whites, did not fully sink in. In the first years of the 20th century, despite all the demonstrated power of the state, large numbers of Blacks, whites, men, women became impatient, immoderate, and unpatriotic. That's it. That's the end of chapter 12. I don't know what to say anymore. I say that after every single chapter, but I genuinely don't know what to say. I'm going to go light some incense, drink some water, go for a walk, and journal. That's what I'm gonna do, because this chapter really stirred up some things in me, and I need to go settle my spirit. So thank you for being here. Sending you all a big hug, and I'll see you for chapter 13, which is titled The Socialist Challenge. Also, we are about halfway through this book. It is page 321, and we have 682 pages, so we're almost halfway. And yeah, I keep encouraging you to read and to lean in, even though this shit is very, very uncomfortable.